Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Thule Subterra 30, which is a really sleek and durable 30-liter tech and minimal travel bag. And we've looked at a bunch of bags from Thule on the channel in the past, such as the larger versions of the Subterra that are going to work a little bit better for longer term travel. We've also taken a look at their Accent backpack, which is a solid minimal daily bag. And then we've also taken a look at the Aspect backpack, which is a really great camera bag offering. And so Thule just always has very reliable offerings in a variety of styles of bags. They remind me a little bit of Honda. They're like the Accord of the backpack world, so they're very reliable, reasonably priced, and they offer a nice amount of features. And the Subterra 30 really isn't any different in that respect. So it's been great to use, it's very comfortable, it has tons of space, a really nice organizational layout, and it feels like it's gonna hold up well over the longer term. So I'm really excited to share it with you guys. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the outside of the bag, I really like the overall aesthetic. This is a really modern and sleek look. It still looks like a tech backpack, but it still keeps things pretty minimal, and it doesn't look that different from a lot of the other Thule bags that we've looked at on the channel, and it really feels like it's gonna fit in well into a bunch of different environments, whether you're using this for walking around the city, traveling, or taking it into an office. And the bag is offered in a few different colors. The version that I have here is the Dark Shadow, which is kind of a dark blue and gray mixture, but it also comes in a black and a red and a few different colors that you can check out on the company's site. And then moving into the materials, the bag is made out of a really durable feeling 800D nylon that is pretty lightweight, and it also feels like it's gonna offer a nice amount of weather resistance. And then on top of that, the bag also has some nice and well-protected YKK zippers all throughout. So just a really solid build quality that definitely feels like it's gonna hold up well to rougher usage. Continuing along the outside, I was happy to see that the bag has an external water bottle pocket, and it offers a pretty nice amount of space. What I currently have in here is the 20-liter insulated water bottle from Wander that I've been using a lot recently. And the compartment has a nice amount of depth. One thing that I will call out though is that it doesn't have too much elasticity. So even though I was able to fit my water bottle in there, it was a pretty tight fit. And it actually started to take up a little bit of space from the main area of the bag. So that's definitely something that you want to keep in mind if you typically carry a thicker water bottle. Also on the outside of the bag, you have handles on the top, side, and bottom. And I really like the implementation here. The handles all feel really durable. They have this nice material here. They don't have too much padding, so they're not going to be great for carrying the bag for a longer period of time, but they don't feel like they're going to tear or anything like that. And I like that they don't stick out too awkwardly from the sides of the bag. And it's just really nice for when you want to carry this like a briefcase or for loading this into an overhead storage compartment. And then jumping into the capacity, the bag comes in at about 30 liters, which is a really great minimal travel bag size in my opinion. I was easily able to hold all the items that I would normally want to take with me on a weekend trip or even for up to a week depending on how minimally I was packing. And I really like that even though this is a larger capacity bag, it still manages to maintain a pretty sleek silhouette. I feel like it hugs my back pretty well even when it's a little bit more packed out, making it great for navigating crowded areas or jumping onto public transit. In general, I'm a big fan of this sort of 30-liter size, which is not quite as big as a lot of one-bag travel bags and still a little bit maybe too big for EDC, but I really like that this size is just going to be easy to carry onto pretty much any airline. Continuing on with the straps and the back paneling, overall the bag has been really comfortable to wear. I like how the straps have been implemented here. They have a decent amount of padding. On the inside they have this meshy material to help prevent moisture from building up. And then the straps also have a pretty nice width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when you're wearing it with a lot of weight. One thing that I will mention, however, is that the padding is just a little bit thinner than I would like to see for a bag of this size. But regardless, it still felt really comfortable. On the straps, you also have an adjustable and removable sternum strap to help distribute the weight. One thing that I want to call out here on the bottom, however, is that you do not have the ability to add any sort of a waist belt, which might have been a nice addition considering the size of the bag. And then moving into the back paneling, this has also felt great. I really like how much padding has been included here. It has the same mesh material that we saw on the straps, and then it also has a nice amount of elevation to create this air channel to help with airflow while you're walking around throughout the day. The last thing that I'll mention here while we're on the back paneling is that it has this nice luggage pass-through here to allow you to rest this on a suitcase while you're traveling to save some weight on your back. And then jumping into the organizational options, the bag has plenty of pockets all throughout. Starting on the outside, there's a few smaller quick access pockets. The first one here on the right actually shares space with the water bottle pocket that we saw a little bit earlier, so I didn't end up using this just to give the water bottle as much space as possible. But opening this up, it has a well-protected zipper, and it actually has a surprising amount of space given that it has this elasticity here on the side. So if you had something a little bit thicker, it should be able to fit in there. And then I really like that this pocket also has this lip here to prevent anything from falling out accidentally. So really nice, simple implementation here, although I do wish that the elastic here had actually been added to the full compartment to allow you to hold a thicker water bottle. On the other side, there's a very similar zippered compartment to the one that we just saw. The main difference here being that there's no water bottle compartment, but it still has a nicely protected zipper, and it also has that same elasticity that we saw to give you just a little bit more flexibility with larger items. And so I didn't really place too much in here, just some smaller items that I'd like to get to quickly while I'm traveling. So first up, I just have my Apple AirPods Pro. And then the other item that I have in here is just a simple deck of cards that I like to have with me while traveling. But just a really simple layout here. Again, a nice amount of space because of the elasticity. So this would have been a great spot to also hold maybe a portable battery or some cables for your phone. The next compartment that we're going to be taking a look at is the laptop compartment. And this has a really nice side access zipper here. I really love the use of these side access zippers to make it very easy to get in and out of the bag when you're traveling. And this zipper has a nice amount of protection. In addition to the covering on the zipper, you also have the zipper garage at the top to help prevent any water from getting in. And then a nice thing about this compartment is that in addition to being able to access it from the side, you can also access it from the top in the main compartment, as we'll see in a little bit. But jumping into the compartment itself, a nice amount of padding here on both sides of the compartment. I really like the bright yellow inner lining, and the compartment itself has plenty of space. You can definitely fit up to a 15-inch laptop. Currently what I have in here is my 13-inch MacBook Pro, but you can see there's some leftover space at the top. And then at the bottom, I haven't been able to tell if this compartment is suspended. It doesn't really feel suspended to me, but it does have a nice amount of padding on the bottom. So regardless, with the padding that's there, even when I place the bag down a little bit harder, or if I've done a little bit of a drop, then it still feels like my laptop is gonna be very well protected. And so pulling my laptop out, now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. No sort of fleece lining to help prevent against scratching, but it still offers a nice amount of padding. And then I really like that the compartment comes up a nice amount in case you happen to have a thicker device. So overall, just a really nice implementation here. It definitely feels like my laptop is gonna be very well protected while I'm traveling. The next area that we're gonna take a look at is a larger kind of admin compartment that has a lot of nice internal organization. And so opening this up, it has a pretty wide opening to allow you to see everything that's on the inside. And so I really like all the different slip pockets and kind of spots that you have to store all of your smaller accessories. But before jumping into that, at the top here, since I had a little bit of leftover space, I just tossed in my Bellroy Classic pouch, which I still have to hold some of the smaller tech accessories that didn't really have a pocket to sit in. And then besides that, this compartment goes all the way down to the bottom of the bag. This is one thing that I struggled with a little bit with this bag, is the fact that this doesn't open a little bit lower. So it was a little hard to take full advantage of the compartments on the bottom, especially when the main area started to get a little bit fuller. So it was hard to see kind of these zipper pockets here and to even just take full advantage of the space. So just a little nitpick there, but still nice to have the amount of capacity on the bottom to toss in something a little bit taller. And then moving into the back of the compartment, as I mentioned, just a few smaller slip pockets where you can store your accessories. So in the first slip pocket, I just have a simple field notes notebook. And then next to that, there's a few small slots where you can store something like a pen or a stylus, which is what I currently have here. And then I also just have a simple nail clipper. And then as you can see in this middle pocket, there's a cable coming all the way through, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But for now, just jumping all the way to the left to the last slip pocket that we have here, I just have my Apple Magic Mouse. And then on the back of this compartment, you have a separate tablet sleeve, and I really like that this is its own protective sleeve for a tablet. On the inside, you have a little bit of felt lining to help prevent against scratching. And so what I currently have here is my iPad mini, and that fit in there really comfortably, but I think you could definitely hold up to a full-size 10-inch tablet in here. And then this is actually connected to the cable that you saw earlier. So I really like that Thule has this sort of cable management system to allow you to store a power bank in the bottom, as we'll take a look at in a second, and actually thread that through so that you can use it with your tablet or any other device that you have in this pocket, but not have a huge mess of cables all throughout. So really interesting idea here. Probably not something that I would use that much regularly, but it's still a nice addition to have. And then moving down along the compartment into this lower area here, you have one large mesh zippered compartment, which is going to be great for storing a power bank. This is actually the compartment that has this pass through here for the charging cable, and so this has a nice amount of volume here. It just comes up a nice amount, so anything a little bit thicker you should be able to toss in there okay. And so going into what I currently have here, first up I have my BluePop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank that's actually connected to this cable, and so pulling that out, on the inside here the last thing that I have is just a power bank that also pairs with the cable for whenever I want to charge my tablet or my phone when I'm just sitting at the airport or something. So not a whole lot of stuff in this compartment, and again the reason for that is just because it was a little bit harder to get down into this area when the bag was a little bit more packed out. And then down here near the bottom, the last thing that I'll mention is that it has this little lanyard with a plastic clip, which is going to be a great spot to store something like your keys or a multi-tool, which is what I currently have here. And then moving into the flap of this compartment, you have one additional zippered pocket here, and this offers a nice amount of space for anything that you need to get to quickly. And so in this compartment, what I currently have is my Ray-Ban sunglasses with their case, and then I also tossed in my GoPro Hero 3 Plus. And I really like that this is a little bit of a larger compartment to be able to handle some of those bulkier items. And then it's also nice that it has this fleece lining on the inside to help prevent against scratching. And in general, this compartment just also feels a little bit thicker and more padded for anything more delicate that you need to store. The last area that we're going to be taking a look at is the main compartment, and this is a top loading pocket, but I like that the zippers come down a decent amount so that you can open it up a little bit wider to see everything that's on the inside. And the layout for this compartment is really simple. It's just a big bucket of space, and I really like that to give me a lot of flexibility with how I can organize everything. And so jumping into the items that I currently have in here, first up I have my Air Dop Kit. And then the only other thing that I currently have here is my larger double-sided and compressible packing cube from Arkedo that has some of my larger clothing items. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. I really like how much this comes up, which is what makes it good for storing larger items that you might need for travel. And I really like the bright yellow lining on the inside to make it very easy to see everything that's inside the compartment. And then on the back here, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, you do have the ability to access your laptop from the top. So this is the same compartment that we accessed from the side earlier, but if you happen to be sitting in an airplane and you want to reach down and grab this from the top, you can do so. I really like that it has this Velcro flap to just make sure to keep the laptop in place, and you can see just how padded the sleeve on the laptop is. So just a really nice amount of protection, and I really like the versatility of being able to access it from the top and the side. One thing that I will mention about having the sleeve in this fashion is that it does take up a little bit of space from the main area. As you can see, it comes up quite a little bit. And so as you notice, I didn't have as many items as I would normally have in a pocket like this. I just had one packing cube and a dop kit. I do think that I had enough leftover space to maybe throw in an extra pair of shoes, but because I wanted to use the compartments on the front of the bag, I kind of had to think a little bit about how to conserve all the volume, because if you pack this one out too much, then it becomes very difficult to use the pockets on the front. So just something you'll have to think about as you're kind of packing the bag out, but I really like the simpler layout offered here. And then the last bit of organization that's offered in this compartment is just a really simple mesh zipper pocket. So if you have anything that you want to store in here that you don't want to fall all the way to the bottom of the bag, or just something that you want to keep a little bit more secure, maybe if you want to toss in some of your toiletries, some cable, maybe some cash or your wallet, this is going to be a good spot to do so. I like how much volume this compartment has, and then the fact that it's meshed so that you can see what's on the inside. So just a really nice simple layout in this main compartment overall. I was able to fit an impressive amount of stuff, and if you're looking for a stylish and durable minimal travel bag that's going to work well in a ton of different environments, then this is going to be a great option to check out. And so to wrap up, it's been a really great experience testing out the Thule Subterra over the past couple of weeks. The bag has been really comfortable to wear, it has a solid build quality, I really like the amount of space that it offers, and it also just has a really sleek and minimal aesthetic. And so you can currently purchase this on Thule's site for around $140. I was actually able to pick this up on Amazon at around $100, but even at that $140 price point, it still feels pretty reasonable considering the features and build quality that the bag has to offer, and this also compares really well to other similar bags in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of was the Timbuktu Command and Uptown backpacks, which we looked at a while back. I've talked about those bags a bunch on the channel as they are very similar in size and kind of feature set to this bag here. They offer a lot of space, a really nice organizational layout, a solid build quality, and you can normally find them for under $100. So if you're looking for a bag that kind of has this style and it's going to offer a lot of value, and those are going to be a great option to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the Thule Subterra 34, which we looked at a long time ago on the channel, and that has a very similar aesthetic to this bag, the biggest difference being that that has a roll top opening, so it's going to give you just a little bit more flexibility when you have to pack some extra stuff. A nice thing about that bag is it also includes a really nice packing cube, and it's just a little bit more travel focused. On top of that, since you have a roll top opening, that's always going to offer just a little bit more weather resistance. And so for me personally, I'm not as crazy about roll top openings, so I might gravitate a little bit more towards this version of the bag. But if you don't have that same preference and you just want something that's going to give you a little bit more flexibility at a similar price point, then that's going to be a great option to take a look at. Another bag this made me think of is the Fjallraven Raven 28, which is a really versatile and larger capacity bag similar to this one. That one's going to have a little bit more of kind of a classic or outdoorsy aesthetic, but it has a lot of great organizational options, solid protection for your laptop. It's comfortable to wear, and it doesn't feel like it's going to offer quite as much weather resistance as this, but it's in a similar price range. It has a great build quality, and if you're looking for something that has this sort of capacity with a little bit of a different aesthetic, then that's going to be one of the best options to check out. The next bag this made me think of is the Herschel 30-liter travel backpack, which we looked at a little while ago, and that was a really solid minimalist travel bag, very similar to this one, and had a nice organizational layout. It was able to hold a surprising amount of stuff while still maintaining a pretty sleek look. Now that bag's not going to be quite as well built as this, and it's not going to offer quite the same level of weather resistance, but it does have a very clean and professional look. So if you like something that's a little bit less techy feeling and you want a similar capacity, then that's going to be a great option to keep in mind as well. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Tortuga Set-Out Laptop Backpack, which has been one of my favorite kind of all-purpose bags. It has a really versatile 25-liter size. It's a little bit smaller than this, but it can still hold about as much. It has an awesome clamshell style opening for the main area to make packing very easy. It offers a ton of great organizational options, and it has one of the most comfortable harness systems that I've tested out so far. On top of that, the bag comes in at around $120, $125 for just a really reasonable price. And if you're looking for a bag that's going to be a little bit smaller than this, but still be able to hold a ton of stuff and offer a reliable build quality, then that's going to be a great option to take a look at. With that being said, the Thule Subterra 30 holds up really well against all those bags. And if you're looking for a modern looking bag that's going to offer plenty of space, comfort, and some solid protection for your tech, then this is going to be a great option to check out. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys think of the Subterra 30 and how it compares to the other versions of the Subterra that we featured on the channel. And if there are any similar options that you think I should feature in the future, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank you guys for watching and supporting the channel. And if you found this video useful, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.